Hey everyone, coming at you with an unconventional, unexpected Interceptum video, right? Midweek style. That only happens when something is up in the news, typically, and something is up, or down, as it were. The Boeing situation, right? So it's kind of the perfect storm of me receiving emails and comments and social media posts from people. It's about air travel, it's about a door, and it's about Alaska Airlines, which, as y'all know, I had recently migrated to, as did Tara. So there's a great line. I quote this every so often. There's an old video by The Onion. Train derailment in Delaware. Millions feared irrationally dead by our nation's anxiety-prone people. And of course, the Onion news story is about how a couple hundred people were on a passenger train, but because America is a worrisome country, well, my brother lives in Jersey, which is right next to Delaware, and he sometimes rides trains. What if he got on the train? So no, I was not on the plane. Don't worry. And I'm not poo-pooing any one of you who expressed very kind and sometimes very genuine sentiments like, are you worried about it? Were you on that flight? No, I was not. It was in my area. It was in my neck of the woods. It was coming out of Portland. But honestly, that incident, for all of you who aren't air like regular flyers, like that was a professional reaction. That was a great resolution. That was a very successful failure of that flight, right? So if you haven't heard the air traffic control, go listen to it. The two pilots, I don't know if it's the captain or the FO, but she is so calm and collected on the radio. They experienced a depressurization. We need to come back around. They're talking about which clearance and which vector of approach they can have after they declare their emergency. They flew their escape route, which is an escape routes are, you can get down very like it'll feel, if you're ever on a plane, like in those oxygen masks deploy, if you're at a certain altitude, you might think a plane is literally crashing because they will nose down and get to 10K as fast as they can. Yeah, they're gonna get down below like a breathable flight like level. They need to get down there. So, and you noticed if you spotted this in the footage, right? There's all this cell phone footage, and people are like freaking out and look at this door is missing. But half those people don't have their masks on correctly. The reason they're not all passed out is because they got below 10,000 feet, and then you work the problem. You fly the plane, and everything was resolved. Everything was fine. They landed. There were no injuries. Is this a great outcome? No. Obviously, Boeing's going to have some answers, and there's going to be a lot of investigation. The NTSB will do their thing. Some of the people I know in the industry, it's not an Alaska Air problem. It's probably a Boeing problem. It's most likely either how they chose to secure the door. If you're not familiar, this is called a door plug. It is a spot on the aircraft where there could be a door, but this configuration of aircraft does not have a door there. So when they build the fuselage, they build the airframe, they cover it up, what's called a door plug. So either the methods by which that door plug gets secured, we might see that change in the future, or we might see a renewed maintenance window or other inspection cycle that happens on the MAX 9s. The MAX 9s are new. We're not going to get way into this, but you may have heard of like, what about Boeing and MAX? And wasn't there another problem with the MAX? Yes, the MAX 8 was the Boeing craft that had the ACARS problem, the automatic guidance that was pitching down. The MAX aircraft are very new. They are built to basically compete with like the Neo series from Airbus. We're not going to get way into engine nacelle size and how the new engines couldn't fit under the wings of the way Boeing designs their wings. The MAX is an interesting solution to a problem that only Boeing has, that Airbus does not. And it's been a bumpy road, I'm not going to lie. Do I think I'm afraid of air travel? No, I'm not at all. I mean, we have a lot of it coming up. Literally, I am not home. I flew the next day. I didn't fly on Alaska, though. I was booked on Alaska, and I would be fine. I'd be totally fine flying on Alaska. Air travel is monumentally safe, except my flight got canceled, like just before I was about to board. I was going to go to the airport that day, and it's like, hey, your flight is not delayed. Your flight is gone. And I called them up, and I said, hey, what's going on here? And they said, oh, it's a mechanical issue. And I said, does this mechanical issue involve it sitting on the ground until a third-party auditor comes around and inspects it? And they said, oh, I don't have that information. And I said, do you have the information of what aircraft I was going to be on? And they said, it's a 737 MAX. I said, okay, that's why. So they're like, we can't book you on anything for days because the whole flight network is kind of a mess right now. Like, they're not the only ones who have MAX 9s, obviously. And I said, well, days doesn't cut it. Like, I'm a big kid with a grown-up job. I have to be places. And I said, well, can you put me on any other airlines? And they said, well, I don't know who has any availability. And on the phone with them, I'm like, well, I know who has availability. Delta has availability. Look at that. Exactly 12 hours later, put me on this Delta flight. And they said, oh man, I don't think I can confirm you up in the front cabin. FAA doesn't allow us to do that, even though I had a first class ticket. And I said, what you mean is FAA doesn't require you to put me in the front cabin. Just put me on the damn plane. Put me on the plane and I'll figure it out. And then talk about get ready to throw your guillotines at the screen, right? Because I just immediately got off the phone with Alaska and called Delta. And I said, hi, my office booked me on this flight to North Carolina. It's not coming up in my Delta app. And they said, oh, sir, somebody didn't put your Delta Sky Miles number in there. Let's fix that. And I said, oh, let's fix that. And then instantly they're like, oh, we cleared you instantly to first. Thank you for being a diamond. I'm like, you're welcome. I'm still a diamond for a couple more days this month. So yeah, I flew on another 737ER, the old, what the MAX replaced, right? So the 737 extended range units, the 200 and 300 ERs, that's what, they're still in the sky. So yeah, Delta zipped me over here. No worries, no problems. No, as everyone, to finish that stupid joke, I did not play with the doors on that plane or the plane that went down and this, unexpectedly. I don't really get any hassles when I'm in airports. I have my picks on me. I have a titanium little bar on me it's part of our toolkits. It's fun because I forget routinely what I have in my bags, and I can just walk in and out of airports and courthouses, you name it. And it's like, oh, I guess that really the titanium doesn't show up on a magnetometer at this private facility over here. Kind of neat. So no, I made it just fine. I'm doing just fine. I will be doing plenty more air travel in the near future. This does not dissuade me in any way. Like Tara and I are going to the Eclipse down in Austin, right? We're going to be down visiting folk in April. And we thought about road tripping it. It's a long drive. We've got a bunch of people with us. And like, yeah, you can kind of make a road trip work. And I was like, yeah, but why not just fly? Like, it's expensive. Everyone wants to go down to Texas for the Eclipse, and the prices are high. But I'm like, it's still safer. It's still easier and safer than driving. Air travel will for always and ever be easier and safer than driving. Unless you're going like across town. Maybe if you live in New York City and you're trying to go to Boston, all right, maybe. I mean, honestly, you don't drive there. You take the train. Trains are freaking great. If you haven't watched Practical Engineering's series about trains, go watch Grady talk about trains. I'll link him below. What was the point of this video? The point of this video is just to respond to all of you who asked if I was okay. I am. And to respond to all of you who asked if I was messing with the door of a plane that fell off. I was not. All right? I'll see y'all at ShmooCon. That's why I'm back east, among a number of other things. I'm visiting folk. I'm visiting ShmooCon. I'm breaking into some shit after ShmooCon. And then I'll be at SHOT Show. And then I'll be in Vegas more for Exigent Entry and Covert Methods of Entry and on and on and on. But I'm always out there on that internet, so you can catch me there. Ask me more questions about planes, air travel, what I was drinking on the flight when I didn't have to fly, and what I was drinking on the flight when I did. This is what I'm going to end you with. Here's a hot tip from me to you. I was in the Sky Club because, again, flying Delta yesterday. And I walk in and Liz behind the bar is like, Deviant, I haven't seen you. I'm like, I know, because I changed carriers. She's like, oh, fuck, I forgot. I remember that now. And as I'm getting a whiskey from her, I'm putting little drops, bitters in it from my Sky kit. And she's like, ooh, what is that? I'm like, oh, it's black walnut bitters. And you never see it behind the bar. I like it in old fashions. She went, we're getting some. So you're getting what? Nobody has black walnut bitters. She said, yeah, but our drink next month in the Sky Club, it's going to be a black walnut honey old fashioned. And I said, tell me more. Please tell me you're not using that awful trash like Tennessee honey whiskey. She's like, no, we're using proper bourbon. Instead of simple syrup, we're using a drop of honey, and we're using black walnut bitters. And I was like, really? Most people credit me with making that old fashioned. But you go on and do you thing. She's like, yeah, and a little orange peel. I was like, well, let's I got precious over here with the fruit. But if you're flying Delta, I don't know if every Sky Club does their shit independently, or if they are doing this across the whole Delta network. But next month, ask them for a standard deviation old-fashioned. And when they say, what the fuck is that? You're like, it's the one with black walnut that you're making now. You just didn't know it was named that. A guy on the internet posted it years ago, and you dropped a link. I'll put that link below, too. Very old, fat, unbearded Dev in that link. Enjoy. I don't delete my shit from the internet, no matter how dumb I looked, including this video right now. Thanks for listening. Stay safe out there.